Alright guys, welcome back to the PinchE channel. I'm your host, the PinchE, and today we're going to be talking about how to do cloning in Digimon Masters. Let's get to it. Okay guys, let's get right to it. We are in that center. We're going to go ahead and head over to the guy in the back right here, the man, the legend, Mr. Richard Sampson. So now we're going to talk to him. We're gonna click where it says inside that center, and we'll see you guys in a second. All right guys, and we're back. We're inside that center, and so now this is what's gonna look like. The Digimon that you have as your main guy is gonna be the guy that's going to be inside this cloning device. And so now let's take a look at what we have here on the screen. As you can see, there's a bunch of different things that are gonna be a little bit confusing, but we're going to explain it. The first things first is that you see where it says Digimon Enchant up here. This is going to be the most important. Let's drag it down over here on the screen so you guys can see it. Okay, so we have this thing right here. So how it's gonna work is there's multiple things you're gonna need. You're going to need the actual Digiclone, and there are going to be Digiclone D, C, B, A, and S. There's 5 different Digiclones, and you need them because you need to get to level 15. 15 would be the max level for each one of these categories that you see right here. You have attack, you have block, you have evasion, you have critical, and then if you transcend your Digimon, which you can see it in a different video, you will have HP unlocked as well. So now the maximum that you can get to is going to be 15. So 5 different Digiclones, level 15 is the max. You're gonna need 3 per level. So you're gonna have 3 Digiclones that you need for D, 3 Digiclones for C, 3 for B, 3 for A, 3 for S. And it gets a little bit tricky though, and let me explain why. I wish it was that simple. I wish that you could only need 3 of each, and that would be the max. But here's the problem. When you click on, let's say, attack in this scenario, you see that there is an if it's successful, it could be either a 5 or a 7. And this is where perfect cloning is going to come in. Perfect cloning means that you get the maximum amount of stats per level that you're going towards. So from going from 0 to 1 in attack, I would have to use a D Digiclone. And if I get it to succeed and I get a 7, we're perfectly cloned. And that's how it's gonna work. You always want to get that second number that is showing on the screen. And that applies, let's say, for critical, from going from 0 to 1. It can range anywhere from 128 to 192, 192 being perfect. For block in this case, it would be 2%, evasion is 2.84%, and for HP it would be 17. So you always want to try and get the perfect stats. Now, if you get the normal Digiclones, right? Digiclone D and C and B and A and S, there's nothing special about them. It could be any number within that range that is showing, and there's nothing that guarantees you to be successful. Now, there's obviously different success percentages, which I'll put on the screen right now so you can take a look. As you can see, depending on what Digiclone you're using, it has a certain percentage of chance of actually working. There is a little bit of a actual image that it'll show you, like, oh, click on this one, and it doesn't really matter. It just comes down to RNG. It doesn't really matter where you click. People have, like, you know, their own, like, things that they use, like, oh, the first one's always the one that gives me the success. It doesn't matter. It's RNG. You can click wherever you want, but it's like a little game that you'll play. But anyways, long story short, those are the percentages. That's the likelihood to go, you know, from 0 to 1 or to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way to 15. Obviously, the higher you go, the less percent chance you have for it to actually succeed. Now, once you get to a certain point, and you can also see it underneath in that image right now, there's also a chance that after you fail an attempt to go up a level of the Digiclone, you can actually go backwards one, and that hurts a lot. And that's where we use, boom, right on the screen, you'll see a backup disc. This is going to prevent you from actually losing. Even if it fails, it will stay at the same number that you were at. So that's very helpful. Now, what happens when, let's say I Digiclone my attack from 0 to 1 and I don't get a 7? That's where reset comes through. And there's going to be 2 different types of reset capsules. There's going to be one that drops you by 1 level and one that clears everything. So if you're at 15, it will take you all the way back to 0. And if you use the normal reset capsule, it'll go from like 15 to 14 or 14 to 13, and it'll just go back down by 1. So now, very important that you guys take this into consideration, because when you're perfectly cloning, if I use clone D and it gives me a 6, I can go to reset. At the reset capsule, click on attack, go back to 0, and that is how you would try and get perfect stats. There's also through Gankamon training grounds, you can actually get very, very interesting clones. I'll try to see if I can get some images on the screen. But besides the normal ones that you would get from drops from different types of spawns and mobs, there's also special ones that you can get from the Gankamon training or from the shop. And those are going to be the reinforced clones, the mega clones, and then the mega reinforced. So we'll talk about those 3 real quick. The reinforced clones, what happens is that if it is successful, it will always apply the maximum number given. So the only thing that you have to play around with reinforced is that you actually click on the correct panel and that it is successful. So if I were to put a reinforced digiclone right here, it would automatically show us 7 right here. It would say 7 to 7. If it succeeds, it will be the maximum stats. You have the mega clones, and those have a 100% chance of being successful. So no matter what you click, no matter what you do, if you let the timer go down, it doesn't matter. It will work 100% of the time, but the stats will be random. So if I use a reinforced clone, it will give me a 7 automatically if it's successful. If I use a mega clone, I will get it 100% successful, but it could be anywhere between a 5 and a 7 in this case. And then there's the magical, the most expensive, the most rare item when it comes to cloning, which is the mega reinforced digiclone. And there's mega reinforced D and C and B and A and S. And those, they have an 100% rating of success and also has the maximum amount of stat as well. So it's super, super insane. If you could get 15 right total and you can just mega reinforce the whole time, you don't have to think about this. It's really easy, but like I said, it's very rare to get those items. So I would wait and use them when you absolutely need to. If you're having trouble, if you can't get lucky, if you keep failing and you use all your backup discs, go for the mega reinforced. In my opinion, that's the easiest way to do it. It's amazing, super fast. You don't have to go ahead and reset. You don't have to use any other items. It's really simple. You just do the mega reinforced. Click wherever. It'll be 100% success rate, and it will be 100% the highest stat. So there you go, guys. That's how you do it. Try to do perfect cloning. I would advise that you focus on only one Digimon at a time. As you guys already know, when you have a fusion Digimon such as Omega or Alphamon, you only have to clone the one, and then you just use that one to digivolve, and then it'll keep the clone stats. It doesn't grab both of them. It only grabs the one Digimon that you have, that you're using, even if it's a fusion or a Jogris, let's call it. It will only use the stats for the one that you had in the beginning. So if, for example, Toyagumon had a fusion, in this case, this Toyagumon, those stats are the ones that would carry their clones and everything else. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching. That was all the information that you needed to know when it comes to cloning. It helps your Digimon a lot, and you definitely should do it because you will become stronger. See you guys in the next one. Peace.